Guys, Deluded Gooner, YouTube's N'Golo Kante, I'm back again. Now, you guys know how much, let me position myself a bit better for you guys. Now, like I was trying to say, you guys know how much I love youth development, youth football, and all of that stuff. To illustrate a point I was having with my friends, I would like to talk about Everton. Now, if you're an Everton fan or you're into the young players and the youth, you know about Kieran Dowell. I was going to say Doyle, but Kieran Dowell, under-20 World Cup winner. If you watch the under-20s, he's a silky player. He can link up. Everton fans know exactly who he is. I'm not going to go into specifics about how he plays. He's a 10. He can play on the flanks. He's a creative midfielder somewhat. 5'10" or 5'9". No, I think he's 5'7". 5'7", not 5'10". He's not the biggest. So yeah, he made his debut 2014 for Everton. You think he's played a handful of games for them, well, handful of appearances since 2014. We're almost in 2018 now, so that's four. We might as well just call it 4 years, 4 years or 4 years, however you want to look at it. Is he any closer to Everton's first team? And you have to say no. Now, he's doing his thing on loan at Forest, I believe. You saw him bang a hat-trick the other day. Mark Warburton said, be easy. He's going to have up and down spells. He's made quite a few appearances for them. So he's doing his thing as a young pro, trying to get consistency into his game, etc. But if we look at Everton now, like Everton are, I ain't got the table to hand, but I'm pretty sure if they're not in the relegation zone, they're just above it, literally. They're in that situation. So why couldn't they play players like this? Yes, Tom Davies is playing. Yes, John Joe Kelly, even though they both messed up, are still playing. Pennington last year. So people are getting chances. But the point I was making with my friend is, collectively, with the riches of the Prem, there's not an emphasis on to work with what you have. To have this rice at home, there's jerk chicken and rice in the fridge at home. We don't need to go McDonald's for dinner. There's not this mentality in the Prem because of the money, as opposed to the Germans who pride themselves at looking in-house first. Some of the Spanish sides as well. And why I said Everton is because, okay, no disrespect to Sigurðsson, Gylfi Sigurðsson, I think he's a very good player. But if we look at the facts, when he made the step up last time to Spurs, it didn't happen for him. Like, for whatever reason, it didn't happen for him. He's gone back to Swansea. You could say that's his level. He's doing his thing, making a difference. He smacked in a free kick against us last year, was it? Yeah, smacked in a free kick. So he's a talented player. But to spend 50 million on someone that's flopped, going to Spurs, he's flopped it. Someone that hasn't he's done his thing in the Prem, but he's not exactly hitting the heights, hitting mad heights. Let's be honest, he's not a £50 million player. It's the richest in the game. So if Everton can take a risk on a player that is not worth 50 million, a player that the last time he took a step up, it didn't happen, someone that you can't be convinced is going to be worth the money, which we all know he's not. If they can take a risk like this and not really feel any sort of way financially and things like that, and other clubs can do this, what emphasis do they have to do on playing Kieran Dowell, who plays in a similar situation to Sigurðsson? If they can spend 50 million on a player that's not worth 50 million, that is he is average, let's be honest. There's nothing wrong with being average. He's consistent, he does his thing, he makes the free kicks and them things. But if they can spend 50 million on a player like that, he's not even the creme de la creme standard, which I could understand. What young players have a chance in the Premier League? Now, I'm not digging out Everton alone. It's not them. Like I said, they play Tom Davies and these sort of man there, but is it possible for these young players? Like, is it really possible? Because Everton, I mean, he's a local lad. I mean, yeah, he got a hat-trick against Hull. That's the team. He's a local boy at Everton. He's come through the academy. They're not in the best of form. Imagine he was at the club. A lot of these young players thrive in things like this. He's an Everton boy. He knows what it means. That could have saved you 50 million. Now, Sigurðsson is probably better than him at this moment in time. He's still developing and things, but you get the point. How do you know how good this player could have been if you didn't give him a chance? You could have saved 50 million. Now, he could have flopped. Don't get me wrong, he could have flopped, and by then can't take him out the side or whatever. But he could have saved you 50 million. You could have bought some centre halves, which you clearly need. You could have actually you could have took Giroud. I know he didn't want to move and he wanted to stay in London because of his wife, but you could have took Giroud. You could have done a lot of things with that 50 million. So if clubs like this can do these sort of things, the young players really stand a chance, unless you're the creme de la creme, you're the Rashfords, you're the Nelsons, you're the Sanjos, you're the Fodens, you're the Angel Gomez's and all the others. You're them clear talents, or Wilshere when he was them ages, them clear talents that you can see. If you're not that, if you're someone that needs to be moulded and things like that, because let's not forget, more time is the young players you sleep on that are the ones that make it. That goes for the under-17s currently to under-20s and 21s. There's a lot of players I rate from all that age groups. But if we're honest, the ones that you're not paying attention to that are going to be the ones that make it. The ones that you didn't realize all them years ago you was actually watching in youth football, but you have no recollection. So yeah, man, like I said, he's made like 16 or so appearances for Forest. He's got a hat-trick. I think he's got 5 goals. Don't quote me on that. It's 3 or 5 goals. He's a typical number 10. He's an Everton boy. But if they can spend 50 million on players like Sigurðsson that are not worth that, what chance do these players have? Because that shows that Everton don't have to think about the money like that. They don't have to be prudent. They don't have to think about finances. They don't have to worry about fair play and all of these things. So if clubs they're only getting richer, but people, they're only getting richer. So I really feel it. I feel it for the young centre halves. I feel it for the strikers. The most out of young players, I feel it for the strikers, because it's hard getting a chance in all positions. But when you're a young striker, you're going against. I mean, all we got to do is look at City, a young striker in City's academy. What chance does he really have unless he's messed going against Gab Jesus? If they get Alexis, which they probably will, him, Sergio, all of these guys, United, any young player, he's going against Lukaku, Martial with all this talent and things. He's not the best example because he's young. Ibrahimovic there as well. Chelsea, Morata, they are. Well, there's a chance for a young pro to be back up. But you get where I'm going. Like, it is a loser's battle. Like, I feel it for young players, man. But guys, to do the I'm signing out. Get in the comments, subscribe. I'm out.